I'm the king of rock. There is none higher. Sucker MCs should call me sire. To burn my kingdom, you must choose fire. I won't stop rock until I retire. Hey guys, you can see Hiroto here. We'll just put Hiroto over there for the time being. But welcome to the video. I want to answer a common question that has been asked quite a few times on a couple of videos. And that is, do I still collect 4K in 2026? Now, obviously, you know I collect 4K. This is not the question. I do collect 4K. But do I still collect it in 2026? What this means is that, do I actively go out and buy new titles? The answer is no. I don't actively go out. Unless there is a big release that's coming out, I don't really go out and buy things these days in terms of 4K. And there is a reason for that. So when I look at 4K and I look at my 4K collection, I've hit kind of like a threshold now of like, you know, I've filled up enough bookcases to where I've got a bit of everything to watch till the end of time, basically, until the end of my time. But, you know, there are still releases that I do have my eye on. Like, really, I do want to add Scream 4 in here so I can fulfill this part of the collection where you go from Scream 3 to Scream 5. So I do want 4 in there so I can make the collection fuller. But when I look at things to add to the collection, like last night I watched Mission Impossible, the latest one. I do not have Mission Impossible, the latest one, on Blu-ray, on 4K. I've got up to Dead Reckoning Part 1. I've got up to that, but I don't have the new one. Because I'm starting to do something that a lot of you have recommended over time, and that is, hey, you don't have to run out and buy everything. Like, watch them first on streaming. There is no harm in watching them on streaming. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking advantage of that. I watched the Mission Impossible movie on Paramount Plus. I might add that to the collection, but also, I don't know, like, how often am I going to watch Mission Impossible through? I've got every Blu-ray there. So, I don't know. There's part of me that's like, I do want to collect still, and I am going out actively buying DVDs because they're a lot cheaper, it's a better price of entry, and I think the features I'm getting on DVD are just about good enough. Like, there's times where I'll be like, oh, okay, I just want to watch a DVD. And my TV upscales pretty well. I have an LG C9 from 2019-2020 era, and I also have an UB820. I have that, so DVD will typically upscale very well. I also have a MacBook M1 Pro, and that upscales through VLC very well. And so I have all these options to make DVD look great. So why am I saying this? I'm a big time 4K collector, but people have wondered about it. So, you know, I'm not actively running out buying 4K. I don't have to run out and buy every new 4K. There are still people who do that. And I think my experience of, like, you know, having every 4K Blu-ray you can imagine, just about to a point, might be helping to some other people who are doing that and in that cycle, that weird, harsh cycle at the moment. Now, I'm not saying that if you run out and buy every collection or every Blu-ray 4K that comes out, that you're in the wrong. Everybody's got to choose their own path. I chose it for many years to go out and buy everything. But now I'm getting to that point where I showed in a couple of videos, I'm selling parts of my collection. You know, I've got the whole Halloween collection over here. I don't care for Halloween, you know, I just bought it. Hellraiser, yeah, it's alright, but like, I don't care for Hellraiser. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to like slim down my collection a little bit so that it's not overwhelming. You know, I want it to be a reflection of myself. There is stuff in here that I have that I don't care for. And that's the thing. It's like, I don't want to run out, buy Mission Impossible, the newest one, even though I will probably care for Mission Impossible, and then say, oh, I don't really need this. I could have just watched it on Paramount. And honestly, Paramount just might be cheaper. But, you know, that's another question of like, do I need to have the Mission Impossible movies in here? Do I need to have every single version of... Well, I do need Star Trek. I definitely need Star Trek. But, you know, I stole Star Wars because... Here's something you guys don't understand. I sold Star Wars. I ain't sold Star Trek. You know, it's like... There's a bit of a war between nerds, you know. Star Wars versus Star Trek. You can like both. You can like both. But I've always been more of a Trekkie. So, you know, I like Captain Kirk. He's more relatable. But also, when I look at this collection right here, of my 4K collection, is good enough. And what I say by that, I mean, it's good enough of like, I know there's a Dolby Vision of Jurassic Park out there. I've said this in many different videos. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. I know there's a brand new Dolby Vision with restored thing and it looks better because they don't do as much digital noise reduction and this and that. It makes it look like best it ever looked. This is probably good enough. And honestly, I have the DTS DVD. I have DVDs, like DVDs, I have a bit more options. So I have full screen, I have this, I have that, you know, I have DTS. So I have options galore for this movie. So why do I have to run out and buy the Dolby Vision version and then, you know, they'll come out with another version of it and they'll do it again and again and it's just become bleh. That's good enough. If I want to watch it on 4K, I'm going to choose that. And I'm not really picky with that sort of stuff, you know. I am picky to an extent. Like if it looks like crap, then I'm going to call it out, you know. That's what I've called out so many times with Terminator 2. I've called that out so many times that this I don't like. I've got it in the collection though because, you know, optionality is good. I like to have the option of watching the 4K if I want to watch it. That doesn't mean I'm going to grab it off the shelf every time I want to watch Terminator. Most times I'll grab the DVD or the Blu-ray. But I like the option to have this version if I want to say, you know what, I just want to watch it and give it another chance and see if it changes anything in me. You know, there's parts of my collection that I'm selling that I'm like, you know, as I said, I will probably sell these two versions of Star Trek because I've got the more individual ones now. But, you know, I'll probably sell these because, you know, I have these versions. I have the individual versions now. Do I really need to have the box set of these where I can give these to another collector? Even though these do look pretty cool. I really do like the look of them. But you know what I'm saying? Running out and buying every 4K Blu-ray that comes out is not healthy. And it's consumerism. Now, people might say, oh, Jamie, aren't you going to go and collect Star Wars again? You know, you sold your Star Wars collection at a pretty bad time. Disney's getting out of physical media or something. Yes, I've heard about Disney getting out of physical media. I did a whole video on it. But I'm not going to run out and buy Star Wars again. I'm happy with my DVD versions. I collected it the other day. I found Rogue One for, I think, $2, $1 or something. So I bought that and I added it to the collection in DVD. And now I feel like my Star Wars collection's complete on DVD. I don't have 7 or 8 or 9. I don't have those ones because I don't really consider them... Look, 7 was alright for what it was. It was just a remake of A New Hope. And then 8 and 9 were kind of like, meh. I did understand what Rian Johnson was trying to go for with number 8. But also, you know, when they got to number 9, I was just like, Palpatine, somehow Palpatine's returned, because, there, who knows? They killed off Snoke, and we could have had such a good story with Snoke, and, like, they just killed him off, and then brought back Palpatine, because why the hell not? And I love Ian, like, he's great, and I love him as Palpatine, but, like, that's kind of run its course, you know? I also think, like, when I look at this collection, I don't need any more. I could, if I'd sat down right here, if I sat down in this seat right here, just ignore the desk. If I sat down in this seat right here and was just kicked my foot up, I know there's weird people out there like Tarantino who like feet stuff, but if I kicked back here and looked at my collection, even though there's a little light in the corner here, I could sit here and look at my collection and go, I've got enough. I'm happy. And so many people, when they collect, don't ever reach that part. They never reach that satisfaction. They never reach the part where they say, I think I have enough. I think I'm good. I've got everything I want. I think I'm good. And so many people never reach that because they're constantly on this hamster wheel of, I must buy the new one. If I don't have the new one, I need that dopamine hit. That if it's a movie I'm never going to watch, but I need to have that dopamine hit. I gotta have it. We get into this hamster wheel of we must have what we must have. And you don't really need it. As I said, there's movies in here I'm probably never going to watch. Let's grab one for example. I'm probably never going to watch, what's this one? Snake Eyes. I'm probably never going to watch G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes. Probably never. I might check out the Rock one at some point. That one looks pretty cool with the Rock. I might check out that one. I might check out the original to get to the Rock one, but there's movies in here that I know I'm not going to watch. And that was bought in a way where I was just like, oh, just add another title, another title, another title. What's Gran Turismo here? I'm sure I bought that for some reason. Steelbook. It's a nice steelbook. I'm probably never going to watch it. And that's probably going to be a resale one. And when I do these videos, I just come in here and I'm just like, I really could get by with like half of what I've got, you know? And this is the question of like, why I don't go out and buy 4K as much anymore. It's because when I look at a 4K release that comes out recently, like I have had my eye on the Nightmare on Elm Street box set. That is a 4K box set that I might buy. But I'm going to wait on the best sale. I'm going to look at everything that around it. I'm trying to wait until they do individual releases. I really want the individual covers like I did with Star Trek, you know? I really want the individual covers. But there's stuff in here where I'm like, you know, for... Where's Rocky? I know Rocky's in here somewhere. Rocky's right behind me. If I can get it out without bumping the chair. I've showed the Rocky box set in this. This only goes up to number 4. It doesn't have Rocky Balboa. It doesn't have Rocky 5. And Creed I've got separately on 4K. I do have Creed on 4K. The 3 movies. But the Rocky box set, 4 of them are good enough. And, you know, if I had the opportunity to go and buy all individually and I really cared to go and buy everything, I might. I don't know about Rocky 4 on individual, whether they would have all the cuts in there. But for me, like, how often am I watching Rocky? And I know some people might be like, oh, Rocky's one of my goats of all time. I am going to buy every version of Rocky. I'm not saying it's not your favorite movie. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, for me, I'm not watching Rocky that often. I might watch it once in a blue moon. I'm more likely, if I want to watch Stallone, I'm more likely to grab First Blood, you know? I'm more likely to grab Rambo, you know? And so that's my question of, like, buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff never works. And I know people do it. I used to do it religiously. When I put this collection together, I used to just buy anything and everything just to have another title on the shelf. I mean, I've got a Shaft here. I mean, haven't seen it, although I do really need to watch this. I do really, really need to watch this. Is this the 4K? It is the 4K. I have Shaft. I do need to watch this movie. I have not watched this, which might surprise some of you. But I can tell you right now, these days, if I was to see that on the shelf and be like, oh, I don't know if I should buy it or not, I'd probably go and watch it first on streaming or wherever I can get it, and then be like, okay, I might go and buy it, I might not. You know, it all depends on what the movie does for me. But that's the question of, why am I not buying 4K as much as I used to? Because the cost just isn't worth it for that little hit of dopamine. I can have as much of a dopamine release spending $20 for 20 DVDs as I do for this. It's all about buying shit at the end of the day, really. You're buying something to get that release of, like, hey, I bought something, I now own it, like, that's pretty cool. And I'm going and collecting editions now. I'm importing the full screen versions of Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, Independence Day, Apollo 13, because apparently there's a DVD that has the IMAX ratio and also the full screen one. I want to see those versions. You know, I'm looking for different ways to watch content now. I don't want to just have the generic one size fits all, you know? But that's my rant for today. I'll go and do another... I'm going to film another video on my gaming channel, so you'll see another video on my gaming channel at some point. It'll be about me selling my Nintendo Switch collection, or selling parts of my Nintendo Switch collection. But you'll have to go and watch that video. I'll probably put it in the end screen when I do release that one. I'll put it in one of the end screens here on this. And also, like, subscribe, drop a comment. Yeah, go follow my Instagram and TikTok at Jamie Timber Presents. I'm trying to get those TikTok followers up, although I'm not really doing content on there at the moment because, I don't know. It's just boring to do social media posts, honestly. I'll do one more rant before I go. I don't really care for social media posts. I don't really care to put stuff up on Instagram and TikTok. And honestly, TikTok and that, like, I'm monetized on YouTube. So, like, why would I waste a second of my time giving traffic to a platform that doesn't basically push traffic my way? YouTube pushes traffic my way. I've got onto the algorithm and it's pushed traffic, given me new audiences. It's expanded my audience. Instagram are more like Instagram are alright. They're a bit better than TikTok. TikTok's completely pay to play unless you're posting concert footage or running through Scientology buildings, because that's the big thing on TikTok at the moment. Unless you're doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. You're not gonna really get an audience on TikTok. And honestly, I've even considered deleting my TikTok again. I'm not going to delete my Instagram. My Instagram's like second center point, so if the YouTube ever gets taken down, my center point will be Instagram, so I'm not doing anything with Instagram, but I'm trying to keep the Instagram well fed. I'm trying to keep that going all right. But also, I have all these things. I deleted my X account again. I deleted my X Twitter account. I deleted that again. I've deleted a bunch of stuff. I've just been like, do I really want to make content for this, or am I just having it there to have it there? If I'm not going to use a platform, why am I even having them? And that's going into 4K Blu-ray as well. If I'm not going to watch something, why do I have it on my shelf as 4K? And, you know, that's kind of a rant. But yeah, I'll put a couple of end screens here. I'll get back to the ending of this video. Watch the end screens, do something, I don't know, go and hype the video in the comments. You swipe across on the comments and you get the next little bubble that presses hype. Do that. Yeah, I don't know what else you do. Send an Instagram or a Vine, or does Vine even still exist? Or a Bebo, share the love. Oh, no, Bebo doesn't even still exist. I don't know, I'm old. Go on, send a MySpace, I don't know. Go and do something. Peace.